Welcome to Crimson Guitars. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm going to talk to a couple of people and see what's up, predominantly about finish today. So, I think I just made everybody throw up just a little bit with that.
A bit of movement.
That was a particularly poorly executed transition, shall we say. So, first of all, first news is you're wearing a lapel mic.
I am.
And I'm wearing a lapel mic. Hey. And they're both going to the same system. It's excellent. Tell me about this guitar, Tom.
This is a guitar which we've just covered in epoxy. Basically because it would take quite a while for the lacquer to fill all the holes.
Quite a while.
Quite a few coats.
Yeah, you're a master of understatement there. Now, that is part of it. As the viewers can see, there's
other benefits.
There are very most definitely other benefits.
We've done the whole thing just so it's even anyway. Otherwise you might just have patchy areas where it's soaked in, which is what it does very well on this wood. It soaks in, so it's given a bit of substance to this fairly soft poplar. So
it's burled poplar. Mm-hmm. The burled poplar has variations in density. Around the knots and stuff, it's much harder, and there are sort of bits you can see here on the camera that has soaked right in, and I've got what feels like wood, whereas in other sections the epoxy has not soaked in at all. The wood was harder underneath, and we want to end up with a sort of homogeneous feel, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you want the lacquer to take as well, evenly.
Absolutely. Now, one of the other things is you could potentially have filled every single hole with something else.
Yes, we could, but again, if you spill it, you either mask it off perfectly, which never works, or you then just have little stain spots around each little hole.
Absolutely. That would be using dust and super glue, I assume.
Well, yes, you could do that as well.
Well, I mean, that would stain.
Yeah.
Dust. Oh no, you talk.
I was talking about epoxy still.
Yeah.
And filling it that way. That would probably be the easiest way. You could do. Yeah, you could do super glue and dust, but.
I would suggest white glue and dust, so just normal woodworking glue and dust.
All that.
And that doesn't stain actually, which is a benefit.
It does. Yeah, you have to get the colour right. Sometimes it just looks like
glue
dirt.
And dust.
Or dirt.
Yeah.
Just dirt stuck in there, so it's not what you want.
No, I absolutely agree on that. This is a prime example.
I mean, I have topped it up.
You've topped it up, yeah, I can see that.
More than everywhere else, so that is partly why it's matte and shiny. But we had to mask off everywhere, all around the edges, just to keep it in there rather than just running over the edges.
Absolutely.
And then plugged all the holes with some plastic plugs and things like that, really. So yeah, I couldn't put as much on these as I did everywhere else. I didn't want to mask around there, it was too...
Fiddly?
Yeah, too fiddly. So I just put less coats, and there was only these little bits of knot anyway that I really needed to fill. I didn't need to flood it like I did on the body. So
this is in preparation for a lacquer finish?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what would you do with an oil finish? We wouldn't bother about filling the holes, really, would we?
No. No, we'd just leave it. Yeah, anything like that. The oil won't sit on the epoxy or anything like that particularly well. If you're doing little areas, you could. It's all right, it works fine. But again, if you've got that staining or a big patch, then you'd need to make sure you haven't got the epoxy or the oil won't soak in, and you'll just have a lighter patch.
Absolutely, and that is something that happens a lot with stains. Actually, you end up with patchy woods. Yeah. Now, this guitar over here, you were talking about having some issues with exactly that, slightly harder sections of wood, slightly softer.
With the first coat, possibly the second coat, there was a few areas that weren't polished as the rest, and that could have been two things. First was it's not been sanded as well So those areas are just where the wood's not been polished up to the same
So
as the surrounding area.
I'm just pointing at Carlo, who I think did all the sanding. He's
Yes.
ignoring us. Yeah.
Yes.
So it could have been Carlo just totally messing that up.
Yes, but considering the other guitars that he'd done at that point,
We're fine.
it looked like that was not going to be the case because all the others were perfect. And this was a later one. This is one of the later
Well done,
ones
Carlo.
we got to. So it didn't seem like that was going to be the case. So the other question was where this is slightly spalted, that there was less dense areas that were never going to polish up quite
Yeah.
as well. You know, like trying to polish balsa wood, for example, you're never going to get it to polish up.
This
So
is
it was a concern that it might not ever polish up, but we've put quite a few coats of oil now. We've come with a thicker oil on the top, and it's looking good.
Okay.
It's been consistent and even, which is what you want.
Let me flip this thing around then. So you used the penetrating guitar finishing oil, which
Yeah.
goes in deep and
Yeah.
penetrates, as it says, and then the high build afterwards, and you've ended up with a pretty much perfect finish.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
one
there's
spot
more to go.
just there.
I think we can get it shinier. I mean, if you look at the rest of the guitar, it's a bit more of a polish than that top. We have actually cut back a little bit.
So essentially,
on the top.
you've let it
So-
cure, rubbed it in. It was a little bit not perfect.
Yeah.
Rubbed it down with what, 2,000 grit, 1,500 grit, wet and dry.
This stuff.
Oh, tell me about that.
Well, this is very fine. I'm not sure what grade it is. It's 1800 or something. It's really fine.
It's not Abranet, is it?
No.
There's a brand I can't.
It's Merck
it is
make
Merck or
it.
something, yeah.
Merlon?
Abralon.
No.
It's Abra something, I think. Or
It's like scouring pads, basically.
yeah. But whatever you do, don't use your mum's.
Yeah, that's a
Because-
bit coarser.
Yeah.
But this is really fine. It's really good for the oil finish because it doesn't clog like the sandpaper does.
Okay.
So it just cuts through it very well, and then you can just burnish it straight away, and you're back to where you were before.
Well, I'll use that on the kit build that I'm doing now.
Right.
I've been using wet and dry paper, 2,000 grit, 2,500 grit.
Yeah.
But as you say, that's very straight and hard and flat. And it
Yes,
clogs
which
up.
is great if you've just got lumpy bits. And this will just round. You know, this won't
Yeah.
shape anything. It won't take off the high spots or anything like that necessarily,
Ideal.
unless they're tiny little specks.
But now you need to apply more finish to get the front to the same level of
Yeah.
finish as the back
Yeah,
and the neck.
might just possibly with just one more coat, we'll bring it up there really.
Cool. Ideal. Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm going to go and talk to Josh just for a second. How the devil are you?
Good, you?
No, wait. You need a microphone. Go. Pause. Boink. There we go. All right, Josh. You have a microphone now.
I do, yes.
This is excellent. Okay, so tell me, you are currently experimenting with a new lacquer, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty
But-
good stuff. Yeah, but
What do we make a lot of guitars out of, despite, and I must say, despite the slight illegality of it at the moment? We use
yeah, a lot of rosewood, as Carlo's preparing one now. But
Oh.
Before I hide the fretboard.
I like your bracelet. So you're just masking this off
Yeah,
pre-lacquering the guitar. But is that a rosewood neck
Yes, with a rosewood fretboard.
with a rosewood fretboard, and is the neck to be lacquered?
it is, and that's actually why I'm doing all these tests at the moment for that guitar, and I don't know where, yeah, another one down there. So, yeah, we're doing various tests to see how the new lacquer reacts with the rosewood.
Okay, so the issue is that the lacquer is actually basically it's not adhering properly.
Yes. There's two issues we're having. It's either reaction with the wax in the rosewood, because it's quite a waxy wood, and or it's just not sticking to the sealer coat. So, yeah, we're trying to work our way around that. See.
Okay,
various
what have you
things.
tried so far?
Just the old polyurethane lacquer, acetone, things like that.
So you've cleaned it off with acetone and alcohols and stuff to try and get
Yeah.
rid of the wax pre-application. And then
Yeah.
you've tried to use another sort of barrier coat in between the wax that you do know, and then go over with the new lacquer. I mean, part of the reason for going with the new lacquer was to make it easier to apply quickly, because the stuff builds up really well and gets really hard very, very quickly. It is quite amazing, isn't it?
It is. That's actually a guitar sprayed yesterday. It's ash. The grain wasn't raised at all or anything.
So that's sprayed yesterday, and that is ready for rubbing down.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I just said like, wow. I can't believe I did that. Like, amazing, dude. Okay, so that's cool. The problem is it's not working with rosewood yet.
Yeah. So hopefully this should be our final test. We've got a specific anti-grease sealer that should work with the polyester. We're also doing a shellac test just as a backup.
Just because I've been walking around the building every time I see Josh for the last 2 hours. I've been saying shellac. It's the universal barrier coat. It works with everything. I nearly made like a your mama joke, but I'm not gonna. So there we go. This is for Patreon. I'm allowed to say things like that, I think. Maybe? No? Fair enough. Okay, cool. So shellac, hopefully that works. We want to make it easier. But yeah, that is an impressive finish. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ooh, look at that. Hey. I will see you guys soon. Continue to be awesome. And please, I apologize for my camera work today. It sucked. Cheerio.